Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley.
I'm Mica.
Is Fable coming back? Yeah! I'd be so excited if this actually happens. So excited. Okay, following recent leaks over the past few weeks that indicated a sequel to the franchise was in development that sounded really promising, but also I didn't dare believe was true. It looks like we have more sources now saying that at long last, a new Fable game, like a real Fable game, not Fable Legends, is real.
Yes, it looks like Microsoft might finally be realizing that its stash of exclusives is pretty not there these days with delays and cancellations all over the place. And
well, hey, Crackdown 3 this year.
True. 1. So it might be making a big investment to revive one of its biggest series with a new, rather puzzling but exciting studio taking the lead.
Interestingly enough, the thing that apparently really convinced Microsoft to take another shot at Fable was Horizon Zero Dawn. But more than that in a second. Now, we should probably give you a little bit of background on Fable, in case you missed it, since the franchise has been dormant for a while. It is an Xbox exclusive, so some people may have missed it that way, but it's great.
Yeah, the original Fable first released for the Xbox.
Original, I want to call it Xbox One, but
it's not.
Original
The OG Xbox way back in 2004, and it won a lot of praise for its gameplay and its combat. Remember all the hype about how you could choose your own path and do what you want? Yeah, well, gamers dug it, and the game was a bestseller and spawned 2 mainline sequels.
Turns out what everyone wanted to do was just hire prostitutes.
Yeah.
Which you can do.
Hell yeah.
Ever since then, fans of the series have been clamoring for a new game on current-gen hardware, but what Microsoft did instead was try and reboot the series with an asymmetrical co-op free-to-play Fable Legends, which failed spectacularly. It looked kind of cool, but it never even made it to launch. They ended up getting the game canceled in its alpha phase, and developer Lionhead Studios was shut down completely.
Yeah, so because of all of that, the idea of a new Fable has been, well, just a fable, really.
Okay, I'll allow it.
All right. According to reports following the closure of Lionhead, a bunch of suitors lined up to take the franchise from Microsoft, but they weren't interested in selling it off.
Apparently that's because they had their own plans for a brand new Fable game developed by one of their studios, which brings us back to the news that just dropped this week. There have been rumors going around, but Eurogamer just broke an exclusive story that seems to confirm the rumors, claiming that Microsoft, which owns the Fable franchise, has given UK developer Playground the job of making a new Fable game.
You might remember Playground from games like Forza Horizon.
I'm sold already!
Which is an interesting choice because while games like Forza Horizon 3 are racing games, they do have some interesting open world designs.
I mean, there were a lot of really cool things about Forza Horizon 3 in particular that could be really great to pull over into an RPG. Things like player-created quests or mini missions, things like that. Things that you're just exploring along and bam, just a challenge pops up, something to go do, some way to go explore the world. That was all great in Horizon 3. I would love to see what they could do with this, but I'm getting overly excited. In a statement to Eurogamer, Microsoft says that it doesn't comment on rumor or speculation. Not that surprising, but hey, when has that ever stopped the internet? Or me?
Right. In its story, Eurogame gave us some interesting details about what the game might look like. The report said, "We've heard the new Fable is planned as a story and character-focused open-world action RPG." It's a lot of words there. A significant investment in its development is also planned, with some 200 people set to work on the game at Playground's newly established second office in Leamington Spa, Warwickshire. That's a spa town in England if you're not up on your English towns
like
or
us,
how
obviously.
you pronounce them clearly.
The idea of a Fable revival of some kind, a proper revival that is, has been a pretty hot item on Xbox fans' wish lists for a while now, and it seemed to be maybe more than a pipe dream after a set of leaks from a few weeks ago where one gamer posted information he allegedly took from Xbox's internal services, which seem pretty solid now.
Yeah, the leaker claimed that some of the new info he saw indicated that a new Fable game was in development by a UK studio. At the time, we put some money down that this was none other than Playground Games.
So chalk that one up to, we called it.
Yep, who announced late last year that they were ramping up production to start work on a AAA fantasy action game. And hey, that might be the case if Eurogamer sources are to be believed.
This decision to restart the series comes after a lot of people thought that Fable was done for good. Less than 2 years ago, Microsoft shut down Lionhead, the studio that created Fable, canceled Fable Legends, which was planned as this free-to-play multiplayer game where one person is like the sort of antagonist, and there are 4 other people who are playing cooperatively to overcome his dungeon maze. It was a pretty cool idea, but I guess the execution wasn't solid enough to get it to launch.
Yeah, apparently though, Lionhead always wanted to make another proper Fable game. Former staffers at the studio told Eurogamer that they wanted to move on to making Fable 4 after they finished up with Legends.
Some former Lionhead staffers told Eurogamer they were happy the Playground is resurrecting the franchise, but there may be some bittersweet feelings as well, considering that Lionhead never got the chance to make another Fable.
Fable co-creator Simon Carter told Eurogamer that he has slightly mixed feelings. He went on to say, on one hand, it's great for the UK games industry, and it's very pleasing that Fable isn't dead. On the other hand, it is a little curious to get rid of the team that is uniquely expert in making Fable and then try and make a Fable. Fable is a weird game and a tough one to deconstruct for a new team. That said, the team in question is very talented and I'm sure they'll do a fantastic job.
Meanwhile, Ted Timmons, an ex-Lionhead staffer who's now working for the Microsoft-owned Rare, said, "The thought of one of my favorite franchises of all time rumored to be making a comeback excites me greatly."
So you may be asking, what changed Microsoft's mind on Fable? 3 words. Horizon Zero Dawn. Or
it is 3.
Ancient Robot Dinosaurs. Yes.
Oh yeah.
The new IP, set in a post-apocalyptic world with a compelling story and characters, apparently convinced Microsoft to fall back in love with Fable.
Which you might think would be a little bit strange considering how many other great fantasy games have come out since Fable's heyday. I mean, Witcher 3 was a massive hit. Skyrim was a massive hit, enough to get a release on absolutely every platform that's ever existed.
Probably even in a refrigerator.
Probably.
Yeah.
That wasn't enough proof that gamers still wanted hack stuff with swords. Come on. Oh well, better late than never.
Fair.
Better late than never.
And from the sound of it, Microsoft is making a major investment in bringing this IP back to life. And while that's all good news for gamers, it might be risky from a corporate standpoint. Fable, after all, is a little tiny bit old at this point, and Fable 3 wasn't considered by most to be its high point. And then it was followed with that god-awful Kinect game that no one cared about, so who knows how much interest there really is still for Fable in 2018.
On the other hand, look, the Fable games are very fondly remembered by a lot of gamers, like myself. Like, I'm really excited about this. I didn't play the original because they were like, you can do anything as a dude, and I was like, that's cool, but I played something else that was more compelling at the time. Fable 2, bam, have tits, can do. I got my husband, I took a prostitute home, it was like a good time. I even liked Fable 3. Not everyone likes Fable 3. I even like Fable 3. I will not be shamed by this. So there is a market. Brian, I can hear you laugh snorting over there. Are you excited about the prostitutes or about the dog?
I can't believe this is real.
This is real. Oh man, it was great. If you don't wear protection, you get STD.
I thought you were just kidding.
No, you get an STD.
No, this is real.
And pregnant.
Yeah.
It's a real roller coaster in that game. So there's a lot of really fun reasons to want Fable back. I just named most of them. And Microsoft definitely does need some new exclusives, so this is a step in that direction, and it makes a certain amount of sense for them as well to lean on franchises like this that help to make the Xbox and Xbox 360 successful. And they've been lacking in the fantasy RPG genre since they canceled Scalebound last year, so...
Yeah.
This would help.
And going with a new studio like Playground, which would be a genre flip for that studio, is kind of similar to how Guerrilla Games seemingly came out of nowhere with Horizon Zero Dawn, when previously it was known for first-person shooters like Killzone.
I will admit, I had doubts, and now I feel dumb.
Exactly. Microsoft is clearly hoping that letting another studio stretch its not robot dinosaur legs, but RPG hack and slash legs will pay off.
All right, so when are we going to get this awesome new Fable and all new prostitutes? Well, don't expect it this year, or probably next. Eurogamer says it's still in the very early stages, and while Playground is currently staffing up, its staff is still currently in the double digits, and we're getting up to the triple digits. So all that points to a pretty long wait.
So we'll see what happens, and if Microsoft eventually confirms this, they've promised a good E3, and this would be a good feather in their E3 cap, but that's a long wait for confirmation. I can't believe we're already talking about E3, but hopefully we'll get something sooner.
Yeah, although if they don't wait to E3, then it's that much longer wait between the announcement and the actual release. So, man, what do you guys think about Microsoft possibly bringing back Fable? Let us know in the comments.
And for all of your Fable news, including if and when we finally get a confirmation from Microsoft and prostitutes, be sure to like this video. And if you're new around here, subscribe to the Now.
Just ask your local prostitute. They'll know if Fable's coming back. The idea of a Fable revival has been a pretty hot item on a lot of Xbox fans' wish lists for a while. A proper revival, that is. And it seemed to be more than just a... It seemed to be more... Oh. I'll go back a little bit. So the idea of a Fable...